Alright, so in this video we're gonna see the database management system, or DBMS, and we're gonna see RDBMS, relational database management system, and finally we're gonna see the computer architecture, how MySQL is connected to the local server, and how MySQL interacts with the PHP or Python or Java or any other programming language. Alright, so before we begin our discussion with the database management system, I have a very short video to subscribe my channel. Please subscribe Wood. As always, our programming videos will continue. At Wood, we are committed to bring you the best programming videos. If you like my videos, please subscribe my channel. Click the bell icon to stay updated with my new videos. Alright, so welcome back. Now we begin our discussion with the database management system, our DBMS. The purpose of the database is to store the user or any other information, and the database is responsible to provide both available information and stores new information. A database management system, DBMS, is generally in charge of a database. A database management system, or DBMS, provides its end users flawless access to data stored in a controlled environment. These systems enables us to define and manage data in a more sophisticated and structured manner. If you observe here, the last line here, the system enables us to define and manage data. So we use the DBMS, as the name suggests, database management system, because we have to manage the data. So what is data? Data is something that has a meaning. So we humans, we generate data. Machines by itself, they generate data, but that's called metadata. That's the data about the data. But we mean normally database management system, our DBMS, interacts with the websites. Say for example Facebook or Twitter or any other social networking or say messaging app, whatever that interacts with the user. We use the DBMS. Say for example, if you have dating apps or social apps or gym apps, any apps that interacts with the user is using the database management system. And keep in mind that we are using the structured manner. We are not using the unstructured manner. Unstructured manner means the data that has a noise. Say for example, if there is images, that's unstructured. The users record themselves, that's unstructured. There are a lot of unstructured data, but when we say structured, it means that's connected to the database, and the user comes in and register their credentials, and the user logs in. So when it comes to, say for example, the user number one creates the data, it becomes the admin user. Then the user number two comes in as a manager. User number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till becomes a user number, whatever user after the management. Then keeps in coming inside the database. Then the database stores everyone's data, credential, whatever we specify. And at the end, we can do a lot of things with this data because this is structured data. It's not unstructured. So whenever we want, we can produce the data. Say for example, we can say this data, this user number one is a friend with the user number two. Our user number 3 is friend with the user number 4. Our user number 100 is sending invitation messages to user number, say 50. And at the end of the day, all of them is structured, and all of them have a primary key, and all of them has a foreign key. So we as a programmer comes in and connects all this structured data to each other. So that's what is called structured. It's very easy to fetch the data, it's very easy to store the data, it's very easy to manipulate the data with a structured manner. But when it's unstructured, it's very hard. When choosing a DBMS, it is critical to determine which option is best for a given problem. Now we're going to see that what is a relational database management system. We have seen the DBMS, and now we jump to the RDBMS. The majority of the data that powers businesses around the world is stored in the relational databases, and almost all of these databases are queried using a structured query language variant, SQL. MySQL is a Relational Database Management Systems, RDBMS. We already know what MySQL is, and we have seen the history of the MySQL. We have seen who invented MySQL. We have seen the different versions of the MySQL. We have seen who owns MySQL, and the top lines, if you observe here, it says that majority of the data that powers business around the world is stored in relational databases. What we mean by majority of the data around the world is we mean by say Facebook uses the relational database management system. So Facebook uses MariaDB, and MariaDB is another version of the MySQL. It's open source version of the MySQL, even though MySQL is also open source, but MariaDB and MySQL are invented by the same guy. As we already know, we've seen in the previous videos that MySQL was bought by Sun Microsystems for $1 billion, and after that Oracle took over the Sun Microsystems, and automatically they become owner of the MySQL. So on the day that Oracle took over the Sun Microsystems, the guy who invented MySQL quickly forked out the MySQL, and he invented the MariaDB. And because MySQL now owns by the Oracle, and we don't know when the Oracle is gonna put a licensing system or price on the MySQL, because everybody's using, but MariaDB is open source. It's going to be open source forever, because the developers of the MariaDB, they have no intentions of selling the MariaDB to any third party or any third company or business. And keep in mind that Facebook is using Twitter, everyone, Alibaba, Jelly.com, everyone, even Google uses MariaDB because it's open source and it's free. At its simplest, a relational database is a method of storing data in a clearly defined way. A relational database stores data in well-structured format of rows, columns, and tables. All the rows in a table consist of the same number of columns, so a table is really nothing more than a well-structured list, rather like the ones that you have probably encountered in Excel. As we already know that Excel has rows and columns, as same as MySQL. MySQL is built exactly the same. MySQL has a rows and column, and MySQL, you guys can manipulate data, but Excel is not connected to the online, because Excel stays in your own computer, and SQL has no functionality to connect to the databases, to the websites. But MySQL interacts with the servers, because it has a MySQL server, and it interacts with websites on a live or local servers. So we can create a website, we can store users data, we can store users numbers, phone numbers, post, whatever, as long as you guys create the data, and as long as you guys create the table, as long as we as a programmer creates all whatever fields and columns required for the user data. So MySQL assumes that you guys know already MySQL, how to use MySQL. MySQL never intervenes as a software to come and show you how to create your database, how to create your tables, and how to create your rows and records, whatever. MySQL assumes that you know already MySQL, how to use MySQL, and it waits for you what you're doing. You guys can import your data, you guys can export your data, you guys can do whatever you want with your data. You can use data analytics inside the MySQL. You can do whatever you want with your data, because that's your data, your website's data. So as long as MySQL is concerned, MySQL knows what you're doing, and MySQL provides a service. And as I said, in the next video we're going to start working with XAMPP, and we're going to start working with WAMP, and we're going to see what's phpMyAdmin, we're going to see what's MySQL, and then we're going to go on the Windows, we're going to use XAMPP, we're going to use WAMP, and if you're on Mac, you can use MEMP, and if you're Linux, you can use LAMP, and after then we're going to use the shell, Windows shell, and after that we're going to use MySQL Workbench. And MySQL Workbench is a very sophisticated tool that provides all the services, because MySQL is so huge. You can use any tools that for MySQL, to access MySQL, to learn MySQL. You can use the XAMPP, as I said. You can use the WAMP, and you guys use even the Windows command line, and we can use the MySQL Workbench. So regardless of what we use, we are dealing with the Relational Database Management System, or RDBMS. So in this slide, we're going to see the architectures of MySQL and web servers. So we're going to see how MySQL interacts with local hosts, and how MySQL interacts with live servers or web servers. Say we have a relational database, our MySQL, our we have Oracle, our MySQL. Keep in mind, MySQL have a lot of versions. So MySQL is one of them. Oracle, we have another one, is called Oracle. We have another one, so Microsoft SQL, our MS SQL. So when you have a relational database, and as we can put on the top, we have put a MySQL, our Oracle, our MS SQL. This one connects to the middleware. And what is the middleware? Middleware, we have a languages like a PHP, and we have an ASP called Fusion, Nginx, and etc. So Nginx, we can read it as Nginx. So this one acts as middleware. So this one comes in the middle. We can install the relational database systems with, as I said, you can have a choice of MySQL, and I put the top ones, only three: the MySQL and Oracle or MySQL, one of the famous ones, and we have the PostgreSQL. We have, for example, big data. We have 4D. We have different kinds of, as I said, big data. We have LSQL. We have Altbase. We have Amazon Aurora in a cloud. We have Amazon Redshift, that's also inside the cloud, our data warehouse. We have a big object. We have DBase, which was the old ones, and I think now not many people using it, but I have learned the DBase, and that was the old ones. So the DBase systems had a core database engine. It has a query system, same as MySQL, and forms engines and programming language that ties all of these components together. And it was created in 1979, and it was one of the first database management systems for microcomputers. And that's what I learned, this DBase, back in 1998, 1997 and 98. And at that time, this DBase was very, very popular. And we have another one is called Deep SQL. And they're all databases, because we have a huge list. If you guys want to go inside Google and search, and we have another one called Genie database, or if you want to inquire about say data warehouse, which handles a large database, we have Google's big table, our Google's big query, and we have Hadoop, and we have H2. We have Hive, which is another say, for example, with the big data. We have HDFS, which is another kind of database, and it's called Hive. And we have Interbase. We have Just One DB. We have a MaxDB. We have a MemSQL. We have a Microsoft Access and Microsoft Azure SQL DB. We have MongoDB. We have MSQL, and as the list goes on and on and on and on. We have a huge database management systems, and all of them relational database management systems. But the top ones are MySQL. We have Oracle and MS SQL. Keep in mind, PostgreSQL is also very, very popular, and MySQL Lite was also popular with Android and with other databases, because it's a portable and you can use it anywhere. So this middleware connects to the relational database management systems. So we have a middleware in PHP. With the PHP, we can go here and we can define our local host. We can define our username, password, and we have defined our database. And with the click of a button, we can go and connect to our relational database system, as long as we know where we stored this. Where is this relational database in our system? We provided we have to first install the any of these systems. Say, for example, MySQL. If you guys want to use first, you guys need to install the server, and you guys need to install the MySQL, the software inside the system for the local host, and it goes and use the port 80. Keep in mind, in the computer system, normally MySQL goes and use the port 80, and sometime it goes and use the port 3000. Depends on which ports available, but normally it goes and use the port 80. And through the PHP, our ASP, Cold Fusion, Nginx, whatever the middleware is, we can go and connect to our database systems, and we can create a table there, we can create a database there, we can create rows and columns, we can create a customer, we can create a product, whatever we want, and we can fetch all this data. We can fetch it back to our say we can push all the data inside the relational, and whenever we need, it comes back. Say for example, you guys going Amazon and you guys looking for shopping, so Amazon says first of all you have to register, you register, and then your name and credential goes there. Then Amazon fetches all the whatever it has in its database. Say for example, it has all these products, categories and products, and you name it, all the sort of specifications. When you are choose one, and when you want to buy or something, you put your credit card number and it goes back to relational database. So it's give and take, is a cycle that goes round and round. Is with every website, is goes with Alibaba, JD.com, e-commerce website. Say for example Facebook, you guys go register. When you press register, it submits your data to MySQL or any of this database, and when you goes and log in, you guys needs to your data to comes back. So this MySQL sends your data back to the form, to the website. So it goes like that in a circle. And as soon as your name, which is your given name, username, whatever matches with the database, and your password, you're in the website. Otherwise you're out of the website. Otherwise it gives you an option that if you forgot your password, you can retype your password or any other source of information. So that's how the relational database connects with the middleware. And now this middleware connects with the web server. Keep in mind, this web server can be local host, and in our case we're going to use it like Apache, because Apache is a form of local host web server. What we mean by local host, it means that's inside your own computer. It's not a live. Even though you don't have your internet or Wi-Fi on, it works, because that's for testing and debugging purposes. And after when you guys done everything with your website, when you are very completely satisfied that your website is ready for the customers, and then you can put it back to the you can connect the middleware, and through the middleware you can connect to the website. So it goes like that through the web server, and here at the end we have a web browser. Like what we mean by web browser, it means like Microsoft Edge, our Chrome, our Firefox, our Opera, whatever web browser you guys think of, you guys can connect it here. So you can go in front of your computer using your browser, and the local host comes in through the Apache local web server, or through live server, goes to the middleware, and this middleware connects your data to the database RDBMS. So the RDBMS, you can store your data, you can fetch your data, you can update your data, you can delete your data, you can do whatever you want. Say for example, if you guys after a while you're sick and tired of this Facebook, you can go and delete whatever you have, as long as Facebook really deletes your data. And you can delete for example your address from there, your post, whatever you delete, and you can then update your data. For example, your phone number, whatever, you can update it in a database management system. And PHP we call something as CRUD. C stands for create, R stands for read, U stands for update, D stands for delete. So create, read, update, and delete. It means you guys can do it easily with the database management system, or RDBMS. So this is the architecture of MySQL and web server. That's how the RDBMS types, and you guys gonna see the types, and that's how it connects to the middleware. And the intern middleware connects to the web server, or live web server, or in our case we connected with like a local host, and this local host called Apache. And this local host connects the web server, which in our case is going to be Chrome or Firefox, to the middleware, which is gonna in turn is gonna be PHP, and it connects to us to the RDBMS, which is gonna be MySQL. So that's the basic structure, basic straightforward structure of the RDBMS, and the middleware, and the web server, and the web browser. Alright, so in the next video we're gonna work with our Windows. We're gonna work with XAMPP, or maybe WAMP, our maybe WAMP, and we can go there, and we're gonna create our table, we're gonna create our database, and we're gonna create our tables, we're gonna create our rows, columns, whatever we do inside the relational database management systems, and we're gonna manipulate the data. We're gonna see how we're gonna create the user, how we're gonna go in the command line, and how we're gonna use all the MySQL queries. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.